What's up, everybody? Southpaw Boxing Media back with another video. So it's been a minute, guys, since I've been on with Christmas and the New Year. Had some other stuff going on, but I am back on and excited about the fight this weekend. The fight between King Ryan Garcia, and Cool Hand Luke Campbell. It's gonna be a good fight, guys. So let's go ahead and just jump in right now, guys, because I want to get this video going, talk about some of the similarities to their attributes and differences, and give some fight night predictions. So let's start with their records. We'll start with Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is 20-0, 17 knockouts. Very similar. Luke Campbell's 20-3, 16 knockouts. So the records very, very similar. Where some of the differences start to show up, of course, Luke Campbell is 33 years old. So he's 11 years older than the 22-year-old Ryan Garcia. And of course, you know, there's a lot of talk about Campbell's age. You know, if his battles in the ring have caught up with him. And also, a lot of people have asked, you know, why do they have similar records, but Campbell's 11 years older? Which, of course, you know, it's a similar situation to Vasyl Lomachenko. They both concentrated more on their amateur career, getting gold medals. That I think that was a bigger focus for Luke Campbell, just like Lomachenko. Ryan Garcia, on the other hand, even though he had a decent amount of amateur fights, he decided to turn pro earlier, focus on his pro career. Even though he did fight some of the top guys in and around the lightweight division in the amateurs. Devin Haney, Virgil Ortiz, pretty much all of them. Even though I think obviously it's easy to say that Campbell is more, he's more decorated as an amateur. You know, Ryan Garcia definitely still has, you know, a lot of good things about his amateur career that he accomplished. So as far as, let's move on to their attributes, guys. So we talked first about their age, you know, 11 years difference. Ryan is 22. Ryan's also, he's 5'10", and he's got a 70-inch reach. He's an orthodox fighter, of course. Very similar to Luke. Luke is 5'9". He's got 71-inch reach, according to BoxRec. So they're similar in their dimensions. Luke Campbell is a southpaw, so that's obviously one. And people can perceive that in different ways. I usually perceive it as it's a perceived advantage for the southpaw. It's not always the case, but and it also depends on the opponent, how many southpaws they've faced, if they favor southpaws. Just depends. But it can be an advantage for the southpaw. So as far as their styles are concerned, Ryan Garcia is a boxer-puncher. Thus far in his career, Campbell's been more of a traditional boxer. And their styles, I mean, the way they match up, it's going to be interesting. Where Garcia is pretty untested on the elite level, he is a very aggressive fighter. He has fast hands. He's got a great left hook. He's got a good right hand. His left hook is very fast. I'd say it's his fastest punch, and it's probably obviously also his most powerful. So that's a dangerous combo, and we've seen him knock down and knock out quite a few opponents with that shot. On the other end of that spectrum with Luke, he doesn't really have one punch knockout power, in my opinion. He's definitely, you know, got some pop in his punches, but with him it's definitely more of an accumulation of punching that is effective for him. But I will say that Campbell does have he has very good body work. He's a very good body puncher, and he does go downstairs quite a bit during the fight. In this fight between him and Ryan Garcia, I think that's going to be a key factor. If he wants to slow Ryan Garcia down, and if he wants to take some steam out of Ryan Garcia's punches, he definitely needs to work the body. And obviously, I'm sure if he's smart, that's part of his game plan, as well as staying off the ropes. Uh, Garcia would love to get him to the ropes and just tee off on him. So Campbell's got to use his footwork. He's got to box. He's got to use his jab. He's got to go up and down, go to the body early. On the other side of that, Garcia has got to basically he's got to be himself, be aggressive. He's got to walk Campbell down. But the one difference I think with this fight for Ryan Garcia versus some others is he's got to put his punches together more intelligently. He's great at throwing combinations. Don't get me wrong. He throws combinations very well. He always seems to throw punches and bunches for the most part, unless he's just looking for that one left hook, which he's done both. I've seen him put his punches together really well in fights, and I've also seen him just continually throw the left hook, relying too heavily on it. So it depends on what he decides to bring tomorrow night. If he puts his punches together effectively, I think it'll be great. He also needs to make sure he's setting his punches up, because I have seen him throw a lot of combinations, but he hasn't necessarily always set them up. He's just basically come in on, locked some boxers down, and then just teed off on them. It'll work. It has worked for him in the past against lower level opposition. Not, in my opinion, going to work as well against someone like Luke Campbell. He's going to definitely have to stay behind his jab. He's going to have to set his punches up, and Campbell's going to be looking for the left hook. So if he gets left hook happy and Ryan Garcia, I'm pretty sure Campbell's already put that into his game plan to watch out for that punch. So I'm definitely looking for Garcia to put his punches together a little bit better and not just go in there just throwing fast combinations and thinking that he's gonna take Campbell. I don't think that's going to be the case if Campbell is on his game, if he's on his P's and Q's, if he's fully recovered, if he's not still feeling the effects of him being sick, if he hasn't got too much, ring wear from the battles he's had in his fights with Lomachenko and Linares. There are some questions coming into the fight for both fighters. On the end of Luke Campbell, of course, is just that. He's 33. He's coming a little bit more towards the end of his career, especially on the elite level. So now is definitely the time for him to step up. He's fallen short in a couple of those fights that I talked about, but he put on good performances. He battled hard in those. So we'll see. We'll see if he still has what he has left in the tank, and we'll also see where Garcia's at. If he's continued to mature and grow, which it looks like he has pretty much in every single fight. But there's some questions on both ends. I think it's who's got the conditioning and who's got who's going to utilize their and stick to their game plan, and who can adapt. And those are the typical things that you look at and look for in a fight as you see who's going to win. Now, of course, Ryan Garcia, in a lot of people's minds, is the betting favorite, and it doesn't just come from the fact that he's a social media star and the fact that he's under the Golden Boy Promotions umbrella. I don't think it all has to do with that. I mean, that has a lot to do with it. Don't get me wrong, but he's a great fighter. Thus far in his career, he showed continual improvement, and a couple of fights, those last couple of fights, Romero Duno and Francisco Fonseca were supposed to be big tests for him. He walked over those guys pretty. I wouldn't say effortlessly, because it takes a lot of talent to look good against guys like those. But he definitely made it look easy. So he's obviously continuing to improve, and I think under the tutelage of the Reynosos and being so close with Canelo Alvarez and clearly learning a lot from him, both in the ring and outside the ring, he's maturing and developing his skill set. You can just tell it's there. We just need to see, obviously, with Garcia, is he at the level where he's ready to handle someone like Luke Campbell, or does he still need more time? I think he's ready for it. The only question is he going to come into the fight overzealous, thinking and believing too much of the hype? I think if he does that or relies too heavily on his left hook, I think it's going to be a longer night for him. I ultimately do believe he will get the win, based on his overall talent, his speed, his power. He does have good ring IQ. He has shown that. A lot of people, I just don't think have seen it as much. They just seen him kind of walk people down and mow them down. But he does obviously have good technique and everything. So with Luke Campbell, I think it's definitely it's kind of a test for him to see where he's at in his career. I mean, if he completely gets mulled over by Ryan Garcia, I think it's safe to say that some of the fights he's been in the past, and maybe his age has caught up with him, and maybe even him being sick, who knows. But if he can fight the way he fought against Linares and against Lomachenko, this could be a great fight. It has the makings to be a great fight. I think we'll find out. I think, and a lot of people have said this, and I agree. I think a good indication of how the fight's going to go, as far as maybe not overall, just a good measuring stick, is how Campbell reacts when he gets hit with a good shot from Garcia. If he gets the stanky leg, if he gets noodle legs and starts getting wobbled early, I would obviously make it. I think it'd be a safe assumption to say that it's going to be a short night for him. If he takes Garcia's power well, I think it's going to be a great fight, because both of them, they're good at letting their hands go. They're both good at throwing combinations. I obviously do think that Garcia's got more power, and I think he does have more speed. The experience level does, you would think, would tend to favor Campbell, because he has been in some wars with some elite level fighters. So both of them have their pluses and minuses, and this is a big question fight, because we don't quite know. It's not one of those, to me, in my opinion, it's not one of those straightforward, this is what's going to happen, and or there's a few ways that it could go. To me, there's quite a few ways it could go, and there's just no telling until they step into the ring. It's one of those fights which, in my opinion, make a really exciting fight, and I think a lot of people would agree. If you pretty much know what's going to happen, then yeah, you watch the fight because for the love of boxing. But this is a fight where you just don't quite know. It was almost like, not on the same level, but it's almost like when Teofimo and Lomachenko fought. You just didn't quite know what was going to happen. And it actually ended up, in my opinion, a lot of people thought that if Teofimo was going to win, it was going to be all just him throwing power shots, that Lomachenko would win the boxing war, and that didn't happen. So, we'll see what happens. I'm excited. This is a good test for Garcia. I've been waiting for Garcia to step up, truly step up in competition. And he's been calling out some big names, so I think this is going to be a good measuring stick for him. If he falls short, I think it's time for him to kind of calm down and stop calling people out. Like when he called Tank Davis out in like his 14th or 15th fight, which obviously he calmed down on a little bit. It's good to have confidence, but I think it can be a little dangerous sometimes. But if Ryan Garcia does well, and I think he will, I think he's going to ultimately win the fight, then I think we can expect him, to be in some of the showdowns that we really, really want to see, like him and Tank Davis, or him and Devin Haney, or even someone like Teofimo Lopez. There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of possibilities for him, for Ryan Garcia, and so I'm excited to see that. And I also want to see where Luke Campbell's at. I don't think his career is over. I think he's probably still got something left in the tank, and I think that now is a good time to try to show that. Whether he wins the fight or not, it'll depend on how he performs. Even just like with Linares and Lomachenko, if he puts on a great performance and that's a war, then I would say that that's not it won't be so much what he would have lost, but what Ryan Garcia has gained. And I think we'll be able to tell, because Garcia is a good fighter. I mean, if he just completely walks over Campbell, I would say that's not as much Garcia. I'd say that's more Campbell, what Campbell's lost. But if if Garcia starts having trouble with Campbell, I would say okay, Campbell's definitely hasn't lost anything. So there's a lot of nuances in this fight to look at, and that's why I'm really excited to see it. Tests for both fighters and to kind of see where they're at and how they can move forward in their career. Anyway, guys, I'm going to end it here in a minute, but I do want to say, obviously, like I said, I've been away for a little bit. I haven't made videos the way I've wanted to in the last week or so, just based on some things. But I'm trying to gain a lot of subscribers. It hasn't really gained as much traction yet. But I'm going to start doing some things to try to help that. I'm going to start doing some contests, some giveaways, boxing gear, some merchandise. I'm going to be coming out with my merchandise. So there's some things coming down the line soon to try to help this along. But as always, guys, I appreciate you guys' support. Would appreciate any feedback you guys have. Like I said, I'm trying to grow my channel. I'm trying to get better. It's going to take a while, man. I'm definitely in this for the long haul. It takes patience on both ends, both from me and from my viewers, for things to get better. So, but with that said, I'm definitely going to keep getting better, and I would appreciate if you haven't already for you guys to subscribe to the channel, share the videos, give it a thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you didn't, comment on it, man. I'm looking for feedback at this point, just trying to grow the channel. Also, don't forget to hit that bell icon, turn on notifications so you can get all my newest videos. And again, I will be doing some giveaways, start doing some giveaways to kind of sweeten the pot and make it a little bit more exciting for you guys. At any rate, guys, I'm gonna end it there. I'm excited. I'm gonna be watching the fight tomorrow night. I hope you guys will too. And you're welcome to leave your fight predictions in the comments. I think Ryan Garcia is going to win. I'm going to say a 9th round TKO for Ryan Garcia. I think that's how it's going to go. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but that's my prediction. Anyway, guys, this is Southpaw Boxing Media out for now. I will see you guys in the next